years. I'm walking out a free man.
How would you feel if your life was stolen by lies? Imagine being ripped from your family, your freedom erased, all because of fabricated evidence, coerced confessions, and corrupt detectives. These are not rare tragedies, they are the horrifying realities for individuals who spent decades in prison for crimes they never committed. Innocent people, treated like pawns in a broken system. The same system that's supposed to protect us is guilty of destroying lives. How does this keep happening? Who should we blame? And most importantly, why isn't anyone truly held accountable? Below are the top 5 most heartbreaking and infuriating wrongful convictions that will leave you questioning everything. This is John Bunn spent a total of 27 years fighting to prove his innocence for a crime he didn't commit. At just 14 years old, living in Brooklyn, New York, he was arrested and charged with murder based on the actions of NYPD Detective Louis Scarcella. The case against him lacked even basic probable cause, but he was still convicted and sentenced to prison. Bunn served 16 years behind bars and then another 11 years on parole, during which he tirelessly worked to clear his name. Finally, his conviction was overturned, exposing the misconduct of Detective Scarcella, whose corrupt practices were at the center of many wrongful convictions. In court, Bunn passionately declared, I'm
an innocent man, Your Honor, and I have always been an innocent man.
While living in Brooklyn, Bunn filed a lawsuit against the city of New York and Scarcella, seeking justice for the years stolen from him. This is Susan Mellon was arrested at a Los Angeles McDonald's while taking her daughter out for a Happy Meal, a meal she wouldn't get to share again for 7 years. Mellon, accused of murdering her ex-boyfriend, was convicted based solely on the testimony of an informant later revealed to be a habitual liar. Sentenced to life without parole, Mellon spent 17 years in prison, maintaining her innocence. After the informant's lies were uncovered, her conviction was vacated, and she was released to a mix of tears and joy in the courtroom. Her first stop as a free woman. Delivering the long-awaited Happy Meal to her daughter. Mellon received $597,000 in state compensation and a $12 million settlement from Los Angeles. This is Luis Vargas was sentenced to 55 years to life in Los Angeles for a series of sexual assaults he did not commit. Authorities linked him to the crimes based on similar descriptions, and a conviction followed. Despite maintaining his innocence, he spent 16 years behind bars. The breakthrough came when the California Innocence Project tested DNA evidence that excluded him as a suspect. The courtroom fell silent when Vargas was exonerated, and his one wish, to enjoy a hamburger with his mother, was finally fulfilled. He later received $886,000 in state compensation. This is at just 16 years old, Daniel Villegas was coerced by El Paso police into signing a false confession for a double homicide. Facing threats of beatings and the death penalty, the terrified teenager signed the document, which became the only evidence against him. Convicted of capital murder, Villegas was sentenced to life in prison. After serving 18 years, his conviction was overturned. During a retrial, the jury found him not guilty, and he was finally reunited with his family. In court, the judge declared him free to go, and Villegas has since filed a lawsuit against the city of El Paso for the injustices he suffered. This is Ricky Jackson holds the record for the longest time served by a wrongfully convicted individual in the U.S., 39 years. Arrested at 18 for a Cleveland murder, his conviction was based entirely on the testimony of a 12-year-old boy, Eddie Vernon, who later admitted he had been coerced by police. Jackson's death sentence was later commuted to life in prison. Decades later, Vernon came forward, confessing that he never saw the crime. With the case against him dismantled, Jackson was exonerated and released. Walking free after nearly 4 decades, he received $1 million in state compensation and $2.65 million in additional damages. Leonard Mack endured 47 years as a convicted man for a crime he did not commit, marking one of the longest wrongful conviction cases in U.S. history. In 1975, Mack, a black man and a Vietnam War veteran, was accused of raping a high school girl in Greenburgh, New York. The case was riddled with flaws, including eyewitness misidentification and systemic racial bias. Despite maintaining his innocence, he was convicted based on shaky testimony and spent 7 years in prison, followed by decades as a registered sex offender. In 2023, advancements in DNA testing proved what Mack had always maintained: he was innocent. The DNA evidence excluded him as the perpetrator and identified the real assailant, a man already convicted of similar crimes. Standing in court as a free man after nearly half a century of being labeled a criminal, Mack declared, "Finally, the truth has come to light." Mack's exoneration highlights the deep flaws in the justice system, particularly around racial profiling and the reliability of eyewitness accounts. His case also underscores the critical role of DNA technology in correcting injustices. Leonard Mack has since become a symbol of resilience, advocating for reform to prevent others from enduring the same injustice. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, challenged you, or made you question the system, don't stop here. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories like this, and join us in shining a light on the injustices that demand attention. Your voice matters. Share this video, spark the conversation, and let's fight for those who can't fight for themselves. See you in the next one.